Stone heads in micro and macro format. There are hundreds of sculpted stone heads lying out in the fields, but also in the city and urban areas. Many are weathered by the ravages of time, but there are still many fine large and small examples, with well-preserved sculptures, with high artistic workmanship, on the hardest types of stone, granite, diabase, and porphyry. This granite stone of 6 by 7 centimeters shows a portrait of Baal Hammon, the main god of the Punic pantheon. He is usually depicted with his twisted ram's horns, which we see in the upper part, on the left and right. A characteristic feature of the Norwegian Baal depictions is one broken or missing eye. An interesting feature considering that Odin also only had one eye. Another characteristic feature is the almost always open mouth, as if he is shouting something. In this stone we see Baal's profile, here with a real hump on the nose. If we enlarge the image, almost microscopic sculptures appear. This is a common and typical feature of the rock art here. Just above the nose we see an elephant rider, sitting on the elephant's shoulder. There is also an elephant next to it. Perhaps we see some houses under construction a little further to the right. This image is of a stone head, about 20 by 25 centimeters. We see the head in profile. The most exciting thing about this image is the ear. If we look closer, it turns out that this is also a Baal image. The twisted horns leave no doubt. A strange detail here is that we see Baal sticking out his tongue, instead of the usual open mouth. On a fist-sized quartzite stone we see an image of Baal. He scowls at us with his eyes turned to the left. We see the ram's horn on the side, and on his head he has a typical Phoenician pointed cap or hat, of which there are many images in the Mediterranean region. Whether they are small or large stone heads, most of them have one thing in common: Baal Hammon is the main figure. Large stone heads weighing several tons can be found all over Horten. Here we see a monument in memory of the sports hero Harald Estim. It is not difficult to see the face in the monument. In Baalparken, where the famous monumental burial mounds and burial field are located, there is also a monument, where on one side it welcomes you to Baalparken. This is a head in profile and an eye is clearly carved, as is the open mouth. In his hat he has the stylistic Baal emblem, and a Tanit figure is also carved on the side. A similar monument stands on the grass by the golf tunit at Baal Golf Course. On the west side of Resin you can see this large stone surface. The wide lips perhaps indicate the man's African origins. The eye is detailed with a pupil and lens. This stone man has probably been integrated into the large wall directly behind. Note the X mark that also forms the ear. This partially buried stone head gave me associations with the stone heads in the Galapagos. You see the scary man on the top right. He guards the burial chamber below. Much has been lost due to the erosion that most of the reliefs and sculptures have been exposed to for a couple of thousand years. Nevertheless, there are many fine works of art left. Look at this lifelike boy's head. It must have been beautiful with all the decorations on rock and stone surfaces when they were made. Sometimes you also see that flat stones and small areas where the bedrock is exposed have also been worked and sculpted. Like this one, in Horten's Cowan. Here we see some examples of the fantastic micro-decorations that are also found in large numbers.